Now we move on to tab number 3, which is on VLookUp. VLookUp is an important function that is most useful in Excel. Okay, and we're going to start with the first exercise, which is to compute the letter grade. Okay, letter grade, and we will do the VLookUp formula actually not here, but in the first tab here. We will be doing our VLookUp formula. Okay, but before we do that, we need to set up the what we call the lookup table. Okay, and we go back to here. The lookup table is found below here, which is these are the scores. Okay, and the grades for each score. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, for cosmetic reason, I'm going to select the scores and the grade, and I'm going to use the border drawing and just draw it up, and perhaps even color it certain colors so that we have no confusion about it. Okay, so this is the grading table that we're looking at. So this is different from secondary and O-level. Okay, in O-level, you know, roughly like 50% is your C6 and so on. Okay, then D7 is in the 40 something. Okay, so but when you come to tertiary, it's harder to get the grades become what you call more expensive. Okay, so if you got 50% or 50 marks upon 100, you have pass, yes, but they give you a letter grade D. A D is a pass in tertiary. Okay, so in the 50s you will have the Ds, then in the 60s you will have the Cs, in the 70s we should be the A2, A1 in O-level, that's still the Bs. Then it's only 80% and above, then you score A and A distinction. Okay, so that is welcome to tertiary education, and this is the grading table. So what we do first is select all the scores and all the grades. So it should be 2 columns here, 2 columns. Okay, I've colored it in yellow, I've drawn the borders. So first select it, and we're going to name this table. Okay, with the selection in place, first make sure that you have selected the correct thing. Please don't select something else. Okay, once that is selected, you move your mouse to the name box found at the top left below all the menu stuff here. Okay, and we're going to click that, and now I'm going to just type a name, grading or grade table. Okay, grading table. Okay, grading table, and then I'm going to press enter. So what I've done is to effectively name the combination of these cells together selected as grading table. Why grading table? Is because this is the table by which I will refer to. If you got 63, okay, that qualifies you a C but not a C plus, and so on. So that's a grading table. Okay, once that is set up, grading table is set up, then only you go and do your VLookUp. So we're going to click the first tab, and here in our letter grade, okay, letter grade is where we're going to do our first VLookUp. Okay, so equal to VLookUp. Okay, as you type, Excel actually starts to do this autocomplete. At this point, you can just double click on the suggested autocomplete, and Excel will actually paste it for you and help you along. Okay, what VLookUp is looking for is they're looking for 4 things to be typed into this bracket. Okay, 4 things, and they're separated by commas. Okay, the first thing that you want to key in or click is the lookup value. Okay, this is the value that we are trying to judge. Okay, so and our lookup value is actually this first guy's S1 score. So I'm going to click the box containing the first guy's S1 score, which is Q6. Okay, that is the box Q6 containing first guy's S1 score. That is our lookup value. That is the value we are trying to judge and assign a grade. Okay, once you got that, then you press the comma on your keyboard, comma, and the next thing to fill up here in Excel is they want the lookup table or the table array. Okay, so earlier you remember we named it grading table, so at this point I'm going to type grading table. Okay, as I type, Excel again prompts autocomplete. You can just go for that as long as you are sure that it is grading table. Okay, so I'm going to double click that. So I've got my second input here, and I'm going to press a comma on my keyboard. Okay, next they asking you for column index number. Okay, what is this? Column index number refers actually to your VLookUp table, your grading table. That means they are trying to look for a match for this, and you remember our grading table in here. Let me see if it can work. Okay, the scores are found in the column 1, whereas the grades are found in the column 2. Alright, so we are actually searching for an answer from column 2. So we are giving the input to search for a match in column 1, and we want Excel to tell us the respective letter grade found in column 2. Okay, so it should be column 2. Okay, I've got a mess here. Let me just delete this part here. Okay, it thought I'm going to click to there. So column index number, I will type 2. We want it column 2. Okay, so we got 3 of the 4 now. I'm going to press the comma. And lastly, Excel is giving a choice. Do you want us to do an approximation? Yes or no? Do you want it to insist it to be exact? Okay, please click on approximate. Okay, please click on approximate. Why is that? I'll show you later. Okay, from here you can just, once you got the 4, you can just hit enter and Excel will finalize the grade. Okay, so as mentioned earlier, 50% is the passing mark, or 50 marks upon 100. That gives you a D. Okay, let me go back to here. The passing mark, 50 marks gives you a D. Okay, and once we got it, the VLOOKUP for the first guy, what we can do is bring our mouse over the bottom right and double click, and it will fill in for all 500 entries there. Just do a quick random check. Yeah, something in the 60s is a C. This one, almost, if you got 65, you get a C plus, and so on. Okay, so just do a quick check. Okay, 80% qualifies for A, and so on. Okay, last person got a C plus. Okay, 66. All right, so coming back to the VLOOKUP formula, why do you say yes to approximation and not, and instead of saying no and you insist on exact? Okay, why we go approximation is because, let's say this grade 63.25. okay, you will not be able to find 63.25 on your lookup table. Okay, 63.25 is not there, it's not listed there, so you'll not find an exact match for a decimal number. In fact, any number like 61 you will not find here. So therefore we are looking for what we call a range or approximate lookup. So true, we will allow approximate lookup. That is the reason why the last one is range lookup is true. Okay, we say yes to accepting something that's from a range. Okay, so once again, lookup value is here. Lookup table is what we defined earlier, grading table. Column index number is the column 2 is the grade letter that we want Excel to return or to print out here. And the last box is to do with do you accept the range or approximate lookup, and in this case true, because all these numbers uh, you won't find an exact 63.25 and so on. Okay, so that is using VLOOKUP for letter grades.